So 17th chapter, actually continues on the theme that was started in the 14th chapter, which is in terms of the Trigunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, and looks at, of course, the broader topic title is Shraddha Traya, that is the three kinds of Shraddha. But we find that not only is Shraddha defined in terms of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, but various other aspects of our life are also being looked at from the perspective of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And Sattva, Rajas, Tamas is an important concept to understand. So, of course, we broadly understand Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, where Sattva is inertia, Rajas is action, and Sattva is the balance between the two, or the ability to use your judgment. Sattva has got that kind of a definition. Of course, the ideal is that we should go beyond the three. That is, we should actually progress from Tamas to Rajas and Rajas to Sattva. But that kind of progression is typically for sadhus and sants. So for normal humanity, you need to have Sattva to balance out your Tamas and your Rajas. Correct. So if you can use your discrimination, your buddhi, your wisdom to know, when you should be tamasic and when you should be sattvic. Now, tamasic is not necessarily negative as has been described here in the 17th chapter. Tamasic is whenever we follow procedure, you see the whole world lies in procedure. So when I blindly follow a procedure, when I do my job as per my protocol, then I'm being tamasic, technically speaking, because that is also a manifestation of inertia. So we need to understand that tamasic is not necessarily negative, and the world, the regular vyavaharik samsara runs on tamas and rajas, and it needs to have a certain quantum of sattva. But as we go more and more into spiritual life, we need to have lesser and lesser tamas, lesser and lesser rajas, and greater quantum of sattva till we go beyond sattva also. And the question is, how do you go beyond the three gunas? We have seen that question being addressed and answered by Krishna in the 14th chapter, where the question of Arjuna is, how do we go beyond the three gunas? And then there is a set of qualities which he found is quite universal and quite similar to the other listings that we typically have in the Gita, as in the 2nd chapter, as in the 12th chapter, then 13th chapter, then 14th, and then finally 16th chapter. So with that broad sort of introduction, we look at this, but it's actually a very easy chapter in the sense that, it's a very practical chapter. That's why the Gita is called a Yoga Shastra. So I think the most important of the shlokas that we have in the first line, the threefold Shraddha, is in the 3rd shloka, which is the last one of the first theme, so to speak, where Bhagavan says, Sattvanurupa sarvasya Shraddha bhavati bharata, Shraddha mayoyam purusho yo yachchadha sa eva sa. The faith of everyone is according to his nature. जैसा आपका स्वभाव है वैसे आपकी श्रद्धा है, और जिसकी जैसी श्रद्धा है वैसा ही वो है. So if I believe in something very strongly, that is the behavior that I will manifest, that is the swabhava that I will manifest. So the belief that a person has is a very important aspect. So belief and shraddha are kind of course, English is such a bad language for the word shraddha. Shraddha has got a deeper meaning, but unfortunately, we have to use the English language. So you have Shraddha as the word that we start with. And therefore, the first row defines that Shraddha is an important part. So you can even say that the person who doesn't believe in God, his Shraddha is not believing in God. So Shraddha is the deep belief that you have. And the belief need not be in God. It can be in the non-existence of God also. But every person who is a human being has to have some Shraddha, because without that Shraddha, there is no defining personality. If I don't believe in anything at all, if I don't have any Shraddha, then I don't exist as a personality, because the first Shraddha that I need to have is that I exist and that my name is Raj Shekhar, or my name is Raj Kamal, or my name is Sunil Ji. That's the first Shraddha that we also teach our children, right? What is your name? What is your father's name? What is your mother's name? So Shraddha is kind of indicating an identification process that people need to have. Of course, the higher meanings of Shraddha are in terms of belief in God, belief in a higher spirit, belief in the unseen. All that becomes the building, which is based on the fact that if I don't exist, then there is no Shraddha. So we all believe that we exist. Whether we are the most evil person or whether we are the most holy person, we exist. So that is the first Shraddha that we have. And that is what has been indicated कि जैसे जिसकी श्रद्धा है वैसा ही वो मनुष्य है. Okay, thereafter you have from row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6, you have various divisions of Shraddha in terms of worship. So we'll quickly look at that. And so looking at shlokas 4 to 6, we say that people who torture their bodies are their worship is very, very tamasic. So I'm often reminded of that when people put tattoos and horns, and I don't know, they do all kinds of things these days. So that kind of ghoram. So in fact, the term that is used is ashastra vihitam ghoram tapyante ye tapojana. This is the fifth shloka. Damba hankara samyukta kamaraga balamyuta. So they practice all these things which actually make no sense. And therefore, that kind of worship is usually condemned. So, Satvika is to worship the gods. Rajasic is Yaksha and Rakshasa. And dull ones will worship ghosts and all that. So ghost, what does a ghost mean? Does it literally mean a ghost? Not necessarily. It could mean an idea that has made no sense. It could mean an idea that has caused a lot of damage. It could mean an idea. For example, people become tamasic in their worship when they start believing in suicide as a way of getting out of trouble. So suicide is a ghost which is going to come and haunt you and cause you trouble. So any idea that is not of relevance could be deemed as tamasic, could be deemed as demonstrating tamasic shraddha. So, or say tamasic worship, which is contrary to our movement in life. Then we have in 17.7, 8, 9, and 10, say division of the food, so ahara. Ahar kaise hota hai? So again, we are not having a listing of the food, but we have broad qualitative definitions that are given. So it says, Ayu Sattva Bala Rogya Sukha Priti Vivardhana. So food which promotes longevity, vitality, energy, health, happiness, which is delicious, bland, nourishing, is the sattvic food. Rajasic food is, Katvamna, Lavanat, Yushna, Tikshna, Ruksha Vidahina, which is bitter, sour, saline, very hot, very pungent, dry. And Yatayamam, Gatarasam, Puti, Palvishitim Chayat. So food which is stale, insipid, putrid. So that is called, tamasic food. And much of the modern fast food that we have is all tamasic food by this definition, because it's full of maida and full of cheese, which goes and sticks to your intestines and causes you problems later. Okay, at least that's my experience. I don't know. I think, or maybe many of the food items become tamasic when you turn 60. I would put it that way. What you could digest when you were young. In fact, when you were young, you can say lakkad hajam, patthar hajam. But when you become 60, I don't think you can digest anything. So you have to have really a very light sattvic diet, at least when you grow older, because your intestines have got tired of doing all the hard work for all these years. So we need to be careful of the food that we take. Then let's look at line 4. Okay, we have 5 minutes left after line 4. I mean, row 4, we can change over. So yajna. So it talks about yajna, and yajna is also rendered to be of 3 types. So the tamasic type of yajna is, where you don't give any offering, where you don't distribute food, daan nahi hota hai, dakshina nahi dete hain, or whatever that has been rendered. Basically, it is done without belief in what you're doing. That would be, I think, a prime criteria. So when you do something without believing in that, that kind of yajna, in fact, it happens to all of us, right? We say that our professional work is yajna. Okay, but all of us who have resigned from jobs and are in the notice period, of course, I have a lot of experience there. Maybe some of you who've been in one job in your career may not experience that, or maybe you've experienced that when you are in between transfer. So you're neither here nor there, and therefore you're not able to do that yajna with any amount of shraddha. So it will be tamasic shraddha. Tamasic, you will do the work, simply come, finish the work, and you buy it for time. So that's the tamasic yajnas. In a similar way, they have looked at Rajasic yajna and Sattvic yajna. So we need to be a little creative in the interpretation of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, not exactly as detailed in the shlokas in the Gita, where older lifestyle has been used as an example. Understanding the meaning of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, firstly, and understanding what we mean by yajna, what we mean by shraddha. So with the base definition, you can actually create a very interesting format. In fact, there's an interesting thing that I would like to show once again, and that's kind of fascinating. So just come back to my, here we are. In fact, this is also one of the things that we will do, just as we complete this. So I'm going to talk about Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas in the context of management. It's be very, very interesting. So we'll look at that. Because from here, there is a book called From Smart Leadership to Wise Leadership, and looks at the entire aspect. Then you have three types of, tapas.
Here, yajna is like action.
Yeah, it is sacrifice, basically, when you could be doing something else. So it can be sacrifice of material, sacrifice of effort, sacrifice of mind space for a higher cause. See, I would say, so any sacrifice, so even the chore who is planning chori is doing one yajna, but it is a negative yajna. It is a tamasic yajna because he has to sacrifice a lot of his time and brains to plan the activity, the negative activity. So yajna is any sacrifice towards an objective. But usually it is used for our havan and home, but then that is one particular example of a sacrifice. Okay, so yajna we have finished. Then again, they have looked at, so this is actually a chapter where we would not find it too difficult because it's a very, very categorized chapter, in the sense that you can actually put the whole chapter in a tabular form, which is what has been done in one of the books, I think, that we spoke about, where the whole thing is tabulated in terms of the item and then in terms of what sattva is, what rajas is, and what tamas is. So that's very clear. So tapas and dana. So danam is, if you make a big, huge show of the charity you are giving. So I will give you an example of this, a very interesting example. When there was the first wave which hit us and we had the first lockdown, and about 2 months after that first lockdown, while the lockdown was still continuing, I remember, one of my neighbors whom I had met at one of the, grocery shops, he wanted to buy some rice for donation to, people who are unable to buy. So he purchased, I think 1 kg rice, which was or rather 2 kgs, which was packed in 1 kg bags. And then he simply called people off the street and said, you take this and you take this. But since I happened to be there, he said, Rajshekhar, can you take a photograph of this? Because I want to, publish it, So for 1 kg rice, which costs, whatever little amount of money, he wants a photograph to be taken. Of course, I took the photograph, but I was laughing that you can't even donate 1 kg of rice without getting some benefit out of it and showing off. So therefore, you have the threefold type of dana, where obviously, even, when you say that under Income Tax Act 80cc, you will get a relief, what else is that? That is also trying to get some benefit out of your charity. So these are all very practical aspects, not that, these are to be condemned, but we need to understand where we are. The whole point of the chapter is, if you can look not at the other person, but at yourself, where am I? And be honest with yourself. You don't have to tell anybody where you are, but at least you should not be cheating yourself. So in terms of the kind of food you eat, in terms of the kind of yajna you do, in terms of the kind of tapas you have and dana you have, which obviously follows from the definitions, and we're not going into that. Then finally, we have in the 7th row, we find that Shloka 23 to 27 looks at the phrase Om Tat Sat. So there's an expansion, Om. What is Om? Om is, of course, the primary energy. Tat Sat is, Tat is Brahman, Sat is existence. So when you say Om Tat Sat and you start anything, then that is always rendered in a positive way. And finally, in the 8th row, we have the consequences of not having Shraddha at all. So it says very clearly that if you do anything without Shraddha, then ultimately, see, it says, Partha nacha tatprete noya. So it will not count for anything at all. So in fact, I remember this being told, whenever there was a difficult subject, to study for in the examination at school, and you should always feel a little diffident about studying the same. I used to wonder, whether I'll pass in that examination. So my mother used to always tell me, read that chapter with Shraddha. If you don't read it with Shraddha, you will never get anything. Even if you find it difficult, read it with Shraddha. You'll be able to understand something to the extent that you won't be let down by your understanding. So the work devoid of Shraddha will be totally infructuous. And I think all the burnout that happens in the modern era is on account of lack of Shraddha. But people have not read this chapter, and therefore they don't have an idea of what Shraddha truly means. Now, in terms of, let me just move to the next one. Yeah. Next one is the tapaha, and I think service is also a part of dhanam to society, and righteous action leads to happiness.
Satvik, please repeat because your voice was cracking. Please repeat from the top.
Yeah, I'll do that. So the texture or quality of attitude and faith determines the success of your endeavor. So anything that you do depends on your Shraddha, and Shraddha has been translated quite well into English as texture of attitude and faith. So what's your attitude? What's your faith? So anything that you do, whether you're studying or whether you are, rendering a lecture, or whether you are, posting something in the social media, your attitude is important. Then the second point is pure and unattached undertaking of charity, austerity, and service. Tapaha, dana, karma. So tapaha, yajna, and dana have to be always maintained. And again, it is the attitude and faith that you have which will help it to be useful to society, or maybe not useful if you're having a very, very tamasic attitude towards these 3 activities. Then the third line talks about our diet, and I think that's very important because there is so much available in the market in terms of attractive, and I think the food industry has grown tremendously. Food processing industry has grown tremendously, and all of altu faltu food items have grown tremendously. So Sattvic diet is life supporting and mind purifying also. Tamasic food creates pain, anger, and disease. I can say that again because we've all had bad food and put on weight, or food that is not easy. Each one of us, if we just go back to the clothes that we wore when we were in college, I don't think even one hand would go in now, or I don't know whether we even have that. But I was looking at some of my old photographs and I find that we all put on, at least I personally have put on, I would say 67. I was around 67. Now I'm around 87. So 20 kilos more. So I don't know what's the equation for each one of us, but I think that's what happens when we have tamasic food. Then serve humanity and creation as a whole without selfish intentions, taking it as your duty, that's fine. Serve and donate with discrimination of suitability of the receiver. So this is important, you know who is the receiver. So there is one on dhanam, how to give dhanam, whom to give dhanam to. So that is also there. Then pay respect and serve the teacher, the wise man, knower of truth. Truthful, pleasant, inoffensive utterance, the tapas of speech. Om is absolute, Tat is universality, and Sat is existence. Yeah, we have looked at Om, Tat, Sat and its meaning. These attributes of reality must be remembered to experience the grace of the Supreme in each act. So, you see, all that we do, if we have to become Nimitta Matram, as we spoke in the 11th chapter, if we have to become a proper tool, a proper channel of the divine, then sooner or later, we will have to render ourselves capable of being that channel, and at least by verbally saying Om Tat Sat, the Bhagavad Gita says, you will become a channel to the extent of the job that you remember, or the job that you are rendering, and you are saying this prior to the job getting done. Then finally, we have nothing can be achieved in life without unshakable faith and confidence in the eternal self as well as yourself. They say faith moves mountains. The mountain says, I know this reality. So it's another way of saying that a lot of things can be done if you have faith, and impossible tasks get done when you have faith. And when you don't have faith, then a lot of things find it difficult to move to completion. So now there are two things I said I will talk about before we go into our discussion mode. So we said the 700 shlokas of the Gita, because it's Gita Jayanti today. So the interesting way is, see, when you look at the number 18, there are multiple ways in which you can add up to 18. 9 into 2, 6 into 3, or 8 plus 10, or 4 plus 7 plus 7, or 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 3, or 1 plus 8 plus 8 plus 1, or 3 plus 6 plus 6 plus 3. So there are these 7 different ways that have been identified. So these are 7 ways in which you can chant the Gita. So when we say 9 into 2, you can chant 9 chapters on the first day and 9 chapters on the second day. So that's one way of it. Then you can do 6 into 3, which is you can chant either 6 chapters on the first day, 6 on the second day, 6 on the third day, and so on and so forth. Then 4 plus 7 plus 7 is 4 chapters first day, 7 on the second day, and 7 on the third day. So you have these various schemes, and what the person says who has created these, he says, and this is from this book called Bhagavad Gita. It is written by Raghavan Iyer, who was a professor of philosophy, in fact, in California. So he says that all these methods yield significant analogies and correspondences, rich in their ramifications. The Bhagavad Gita is indeed a study of the 7 sacred sciences of the past. So the 7 modes of dividing the chanting of the 18 shlokas, each has got some benefit. That's the point of view, just to share that. And coming to something very interesting for us in terms of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, I will share with you something very, very interesting. I will, of course, send you a link, not link, I'll send you the scan of this. I'm just going to show it up here. I hope you're able to see it. So what this has is, I hope you're able to see it. So Samadana Veda Dandam is the way in which you deal with people, and Sattva, Rajas, Tamas is the characteristic of the people. So if you want to do Sama with a Sattvic person, what do you do? If you do Sama with a Rajasic person, what do you do? Then you have to do Sama with a Tamasic person, what do you do? This gives an entire chart. So this is very helpful when you're doing people management. I wish I had known this when I was promoted to be a manager, but you can see that. So, Samadana Vedandam we've all heard, but we've heard only in a very broad context. We have not heard it being rendered into a chart like this. So this is a wonderful chart, as you can see, because it tells you, I'll just give you an example. Suppose there is a sattvic person and you want to persuade that sattvic person, sama is persuasion. Then what will you do with the sattvic person? You will reason with that person, you will request that person, you will consult that person, you will discuss with that person. Okay. Suppose for the sattvic person, you want to do dhanam, you want to reward. Then what will you do? You will recognize that person, respect that person, status, you'll give status, you'll give freedom, you'll give importance. Then when you want to do bhedam with a sattvic person, what will you do? You will not talk to that person, you will neglect that person, you will keep a distance and you will keep silence. And when you want to punish a sattvic person, then you will only give a hint. You will give a mild reprimand. You will observe and you will monitor. So we look at dandam because that is something which you understand. If you want to give dandam to a rajasic person, what will you do? You will warn that person, you will change that person, you will penalize that person, you will control that person. And when you want to give a dand to a tamasic person, what will you do? You will punish that person, you will get angry with that person, you will restrict that person. So you can see that the same action of giving danda is different for a sattvic person, is different for a rajasic person, is different for a tamasic person. So this is the best possible rendering. And this is actually a book by G. Narayana, and he was the executive director in Excel Industries. He's a Gujarati. So he's written this book called Appropriate Integrated Management, Breakthrough Ideas in Leadership. So I believe that this is something which every supervisor is to be given. In fact, my son, he's just got promoted. No, he was talking to me yesterday. He was saying, sir, I mean, not sir. I mean, he said, Daddy, I was feeling a little difficult in giving orders to people who are older than me. So I said, I will take you through this masala. So this is what I intend doing. So I thought I will share this with you. So with that, from my side, I have kind of, concluded both the 17th chapter as well as the ideas of chanting the Gita on account of it being Gita Jayanti, and the Sattva Rajas Tamas concept, which can be applied to a very practical method of managing people. So with that, I close from my side and look forward to discussion and questions. So anybody can start.
One point I want to put in slok number 8, one is given sattvic food, जिसका कि असर देर तक रहता है, ऐसा कह रहे हैं. तो वो हैवी फूड या चिकना फूड, जैसे पूड़ी हलवा वगैरह, तो आई फील कि भाई वो देर में डाइजेस्ट होगा. तो इज इट हेल्दी, मतलब वो अनहेल्दी थोड़ा माना जाता है. आई फील तो वो सात्विक भोजन मतलब वो अच्छा कैटेगरी में रखा गया है कि जो घी तेल का, मतलब वो हम पक्का खाना कहा जाता है, हम लोग के पार्टी वगैरह में कोई स्पेशल ओकेजन में बनता है. Does it mean that?
So the thing is that this is a question which often is asked because these are only very broad indications. So if you want a particular indication to understand whether this food is right or that food is right, either you go to the Ayurvedic recommendation, which looks at classical Indian food and what it says, or you should look at what a dietitian or a nutritionist says, because this is just to indicate why these are the broad ways in which to understand. Okay, now, it is
Shall
not.
Shall I answer this properly? See, अगर आप इसका संस्कृत में जो गीता में यूज किया गया उसको रस्या स्निग्धा स्थिरा बोला गया है, तो उसका ट्रांसलेशन करने की वजह से वो पूरी हलवा लगने लगता है. बट रसा स्निग्धा और स्थिरा, इसका मतलब उसमें रस वाला हो, स्निग्धा मतलब चिकना हो, मतलब चिकना. स्निग्धा का अर्थ, स्निग्धा का आप चिकना से डायरेक्ट ट्रांसलेशन भी नहीं है. वो फूड जो आपके मतलब एलिमेंट्री कैनाल में सीधे चला जाए, और स्थिरा मतलब एसिमिलेट प्रॉपर्ली हो, एसिमिलेट प्रॉपर्ली हो. तो जब हम ट्रांसलेट करते हैं और पटलरी जब इंग्लिश में चले जाते हैं तो और ऐसा लगने लगता है जैसे हम वो हैवी फूड की बात कर रहे हैं. ऐसा नहीं है. अगर आप संस्कृत में वर्ड देखोगे तो क्लियरली समझ में आएगा, रस्या स्निग्धा और स्थिरा सात्विक के लिए. तो बिल्कुल अप्रोप्रिएट है. और जो आयुर्वेद का एग्जांपल दिया उसमें भी यही बात कही गई है. ऐसा फूड जो मतलब हमारे फूड एलिमेंट्री कैनाल में फास्टर पास हो, स्थिरा ना, तो और फास्टर पास हो, स्थिरा हो, मतलब एलिमेंट्री कैनाल में ठीक से एब्जॉर्ब भी हो, फिर ऐसा फूड. तो वो करेक्टली बताया गया है, हम लोग उसको ट्रांसलेट करने में वैसा बना देते हैं.
अच्छा, इंटरप्रेट कर लेते हैं गलत।
इंटरप्रेट कर लेते हैं, वैसा है नहीं कि पूरी हलवा खा रहे हैं हम खूब फिर हम कह रहे हैं कि यही तो गीता में बताया गया है।
मतलब है कि
वेरी
बैठ
नाइस,
जाएगा उससे जो।
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया।
तो इसलिए ओरिजिनल भी साथ में पढ़ना चाहिए उसको।
हाँ, ये हम लोग के जैसे HCL में कहा जाता था, यू गो टू द लाइसेंसर ओनली,
Yeah.
मतलब गॉड इज ओरिजिनल, तो बिलीव इन द ओरिजिनल, उसी से डरो केवल, बाकी
बिल्कुल।
लोग से ना डरो।
लाइसेंसर के पास जाओ, वास्तव में लाइसेंसर बहुत अच्छा वर्ड यूज किया है, जो क्षेत्रज्ञ है।
Absolutely correctly rendered. Like,
हाँ।
okay, wonderful. Anyone else?
Raj, one question from me. You know, गीता में इसका बहुत ये नहीं है, लेकिन जो जप, मतलब भक्ति योग में जप का बहुत बड़ा माना गया है। एक मंत्र लो और उसको जप करते रहो। हाँ, जैसे ये सच्चिदानंद है, या चाहे कोई भी एक मंत्र ले लो और उसका जप करो। तो मतलब हमारे कहने का मतलब है कि गीता में जप का कहीं पर कोई जिक्र नहीं है एज सच,
है ना? है।
मुझे मालूम नहीं है।
10th चैप्टर में है। तो इट सेज, मैं यज्ञों में जप यज्ञ हूँ। आई जस्ट टेल यू व्हिच श्लोका इज दैट। अरे सर, गीता जो है एक पूरा एनसाइक्लोपीडिया है। एनसाइक्लोपीडिया के एंट्रीज बड़े छोटे छोटे होते हैं।
लेकिन जप का इलैबोरेशन,
1 minute, I'll just say, I just got a phone call.
Sure.
Yeah. So therefore it is there, जप यज्ञों में मैं जप यज्ञ हूँ. I will tell you which particular shloka that is, so that you can reference that. 10th chapter.
I think it's 10.25, Raj.
Which one? 25?
Yeah.
That's right. यज्ञ नाम जप यज्ञोऽस्मि। तो जो जप है यज्ञों में सबसे बड़ा यज्ञ जो है वो जप का यज्ञ है।
I see. I mean, jap has a lot of importance. I mean, you should.
हाँ, बिल्कुल।
You can adopt one of your.
Absolutely. राम जपो या शिव जपो या जो भी जपो, वो जपते रहने से क्या होता है? Your mind is full of lot of positive energy, and therefore it helps you in a big way. Negative thoughts stop arising when you do japa. So the thing is that एक तो सुबह उठ के करो और एक तो दिन भर करते रहो, शिव 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 बोलते रहो, या जो भी आपका जो है इष्ट देव है उसका मंत्र मन में चलते रहना चाहिए. Then what happens in reality, this is my experience, what happens in reality is that negative thoughts just don't, they don't accumulate. Correct. But of course, this I learned only after I had a lot of negative thinking. So therefore, I use this. So I never knew this when the negative thoughts were arising, but only after that. But at least I can tell people that it works. So आप कुछ भी मंत्र जपो यार, राम का, in fact, राम नाम is the biggest. उसको तारक मंत्र बोलते हैं. Correct. So of course, what happens is that when you attain the age of 60 and then you say start doing Ram, then people say, "Arey, ye to buddha ho gaya." Correct. So, but it's very important. I know personally, I feel japa is very important, and we must do at least 108 japas of at least one mantra daily. वो गायत्री मंत्र हो या जैसे कि श्री रामा जय रामा जय जय रामा, उसको भजन है श्री राम जय राम, ये भी आपने बहुत सुना होगा. तो कुछ भी मंत्र यार, you must do it. It's very very important. Yeah.
इसमें मैं एक एग्जांपल दूंगा कि यहाँ पर भी है राम नाम बैंक, और आप लोगों के यहाँ भी शायद ब्रांच होगी जो गीता प्रेस ने चालू किया था, जिसमें आपको लिखकर जो है राम नाम को लिखकर उनके यहाँ कॉपी जमा करनी पड़ती है. तो आप लाख बार लिख रहे हैं, 10 लाख टाइम 1 मिलियन टाइम्स लिख रहे हैं, और वो कॉपी आप वहां जमा कर देते हैं. तो वो भी एक तरह का जप है उनके हिसाब से, कि आप अब लिखोगे तो आप एक्चुअली बार बार मन में शायद बोलेंगे. तो राम नाम बैंक आप उसके बारे में आप पढ़ सकते हो, तो काफी उसमें जप के बारे में आपको और भी मिलेगा डिटेल.
नहीं, in fact, just to add to Sunil ji's point, लिखित जप जो है उसको 10 टाइम्स मोर इफेक्टिव देन मानसिक जप कहा जाता है, क्योंकि लिखने में क्या है, आपके हाथों का इस्तेमाल होता है, सो यू हैव टू कंसंट्रेट मोर। तो इसीलिए लिखित जप आप कीजिए तो बहुत अच्छा है। मैं भी लिखित जप करता हूँ। मेरे पास किताब है वो राम नाम वाली।
रिटन कम्युनिकेशन इज बेस्ट।
ये तो आप डिपॉजिट करके आए हो क्या राम नाम बैंक में?
नहीं सर, ऐसा है कि मैंने जो है, एक मिनट में आपको बताता हूँ, डिपॉजिट नहीं किया, उतना नहीं लिखा है, लेकिन 2 बुक्स खत्म हो गई हैं, और ये 2 बुक्स में कितनी है, अबाउट से 10,000 ईच हैं। सो 10,000 अबाउट 20,000 नाम लिख दिया है, तो 20,000 अभी 80,000 बाकी है, तो अभी तो
अच्छा। ओके,
राजशेखर 1 मिनट,
या
आप कितना बार लिखते हैं दिन में?
देखो ऐसा है, आई जस्ट शो यू बॉस, मैं आपको बताता हूँ, एक मिनट।
हम लोग कोई भी पॉइंट रेस करते हैं तो उसके पास जो है कुछ ना कुछ उसका एक्शन होता है,
कुछ जो है
कुछ
निकल
किया
आता
होता
है।
He has shown me.
या तो किताब होती है या उसने कुछ किया होता है।
तो
मानना
ये
पड़ेगा।
है भाई, देखो ऐसा है, ये है किताब रामकोटि
रामकोटि।
लिखित, तो अगर रामकोटि लिखित जप यज्ञ, ठीक है, तो इसमें एक किताब में 40 पेज हैं, और ये जो जैसे ये है, मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ, ये है। आप वैसे इसको लाल रंग में लिखना चाहिए टेक्निकली, ये देखो, राम राम राम। तो एक पेज एक दिन में यार, 420 नेम्स, इसमें 420 है। एक जो छोटी किताब है, इसमें एक पेज में कितने नाम हैं, एक पेज में कितने हैं, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, ठीक है, जो भी है, यू राइट 1 पेज अ डे यार, 1 पेज अ डे। इसको लिखने के आपकी जान निकल जाएगी, मैं कह रहा हूँ, राइट इट कंटिन्यूअसली, 5 मिनट 3 मिनट में आपका दिमाग जो है फिर जाएगा। यू ट्राई डूइंग इट इज नॉट इजी, कंटिन्यूअसली, सिर्फ सिर्फ राम और जो र आ म ये आप लिखते जाओ। इफ यू कैन डू इट कंटिन्यूअसली फॉर 5 मिनट्स, भाई आपका जब बहुत अच्छा है। अदरवाइज क्या करता हूं मैं, 3 लाइन सुबह, 3 लाइन दोपहर को, 3 लाइन शाम को। So this is what I do, Vishnu.
राज, आई
हाँ।
जस्ट वांट टू इंटरप्ट। मैं श्री जगन्नाथ
हाँ।
लिखता हूँ 216 बार,
Okay.
108 बार, बट विथ उसके बाद जब भी करता हूँ उसका इट टेक्स 45 मिनट्स इन द मॉर्निंग एंड 30 मिनट्स इन द इवनिंग। तो वो मैं कंटिन्यूसली लिखता हूँ। ऑलरेडी दिस आई हैव बीन डूइंग इट फ्रॉम माय क्लास 5। राम लिखता था पहले, अभी जगन्नाथ में आ गया हूँ। एंड उस टाइम में किसी का फोन नहीं पकड़ता हूँ, आई चेंज माय ड्रेस, मैं अलग ड्रेस में करता हूँ, और एक्चुअली आई डू ए ध्यान बेसिकली, तो इसलिए टाइम थोड़ा लगता है, लेकिन उसमें आप जो बोल रहे हैं वैसा नहीं होता है। उसमें मजा आता है, उसमें लगता है कि यू आपको कोई एफर्ट ही लगता है, लगता है कि बहुत यू आर डूइंग समथिंग जो आप में आनंद आता है। तो
सर आप तो सुपीरियर भक्त हो इस मामले में, सी वी कैन नॉट बी गुड एट एवरीथिंग ना। अगर हम लोगों को ज्ञान योग पसंद है, आपको भक्ति योग पसंद है, करेक्ट?
हाँ,
मैं इसको यज्ञ तप दान से जोड़ देता हूँ। यज्ञ मतलब इसमें आप समय का वो सेक्रीफाइस कर रहे हैं और बार बार कर रहे हैं, ये तप है। ये आप यज्ञ तप, और दान मतलब जब आप वापस जमा करने जाएंगे उसको, तो आप अपना जो आप किया हुआ है अपने से आप छोड़ देंगे, मतलब आप उससे अटैचमेंट छोड़ देंगे, आप दे आएंगे। आप ये नहीं कि मैंने अपने आप इकट्ठा कर रखा है बहुत समय तक, तो ये किसी को आप दिखाएंगे नहीं कि ये देखो मैंने लिख के रखे हैं, ये मैंने लिख के रखे हैं, ऐसा नहीं है। उसका अटैचमेंट भी छोड़ देना है बाद में, ये भी उसका प्रोसीजर का पार्ट है। तो ये यज्ञ तप दान इसलिए
ये जो है शिरडी, बिल्कुल, तो शिरडी में भी ऐसे ही है कि अगर आपकी कोई मन्नत है, सो यू हैव टू राइट बाबाज नेम सो मेनी टाइम्स एंड देन यू हैव टू पोस्ट इट टू देम, एंड देन जो भी आप जो है पोस्ट करते हैं, जो क्योंकि शिरडी पहुंचता है, आई थिंक दे डू समथिंग, और जो भी आपकी मन्नत होती है वो कंप्लीट हो जाती है। So that is the belief.
Raj, you will be surprised. A special thing happened in my life. I was having a very bad period in my life. I was very depressed. Then I went to an astrologer. Astrologer said, why have you stopped writing? You are writing something. Do it in reading pen. What you said is, he said, आपको ये लिखना है reading pen में. आपका जो देवता को आप पूजा करते हैं, उनका नाम आप लिखते थे every day. I used to write actually. I stopped in between. तो मुझे बोला आप restart कीजिए. वो आप अब क्यों बंद किया? He didn't even know me. He didn't even know anything about me. उसके बाद से again I started. तब 108 बार करता था. फिर मुझे लगा कि नहीं, और थोड़ा बढ़ाएंगे. एक्चुअली मैं बोलना नहीं चाहिए, लेकिन मैं एक करता हूँ अपना लिए, एक करता हूँ वर्ल्ड के लिए, पृथ्वी का सबका अच्छा भलाई के लिए, पीस इन द वर्ल्ड के लिए हम करते हैं. तो इस मनोभाव से हम, तो इसलिए मतलब पता नहीं, ये बोलना नहीं चाहिए, लेकिन आप लोग
नहीं, हमारे यहाँ पे इस ग्रुप में जो भी आप करते हो बोलना चाहिए. ओनली देन वी लर्न. So in this group,
सही बात है.
ठीक है, बाकी लोगों को नहीं बोलना है. अगर you cannot go to your apartment and say, देखो भाई मैं राम दिखता हूँ, किताब देखो.
एक्चुअली ये विष्णु आपने शेयर किया तो ये दान हो गया आपका.
करेक्ट. In this group we must share so that, I mean, to use the language that we would have heard many times in our career, please share your best practices, in this.
Share your best practices.
Okay. So Sunil, you had any questions? Sunil R?
No, nothing to
Okay.
add.
Okay. Atul?
राज जस्ट एक चीज, वो जो साम मैंने जैसे हिंदी में पढ़ा है ना, वो साम दाम दंड भेद है, उसमें दान लिखा था.
नहीं. So actually जो sequence है, साम दान भेद and दंड. See, दंड is the highest. तो वो उसमें जो 3 and 4 का sequence है, that is not right, because each is of increasing severity. Sam is persuasion, dan is to give a gift, bhed is to cause differences, and dand is final dandification. It can be war also. So probably the way in which you, or the book in which you read it, or the tradition has put that in, reverse order. The traditional order is samadana bheda danda. So anyway, I will send that to you. You will find it fascinating, because this man Narayana,
बट राज, जो बुक्स हमने पढ़े हैं, वो सब साम दाम दंड भेद बोलते हैं, बिकॉज भेद कर लोगे तो दंड कहाँ से दोगे? दंड के बाद अगर आपको लगता है तो भेद करने के बाद तो दंड दे ही नहीं सकते ना आप.
नहीं.
भेद मीन्स सेपरेशन.
So bhed means to split the mind. Agar if it does not work,
right.
Suppose I'm trying to create a division in your mind. So the logic is, at least the logic that I've understood is that पहले तो आप persuasion करो, उसके बाद जो है उसको कुछ दान दो, उसके बाद जो है you try to create a division in the mind. If that also does not work, then finally you take a danda and hit that fellow. जैसे, I mean, just to take maybe an example, that you have a group. You're first trying to persuade that group not to do something. Then you're trying to say that, look, I'll give you some, free gifts. You don't do anything. Then finally, you try to create a division in that group so that one group, fights, one section of the group fights with the other. Even if that does not work, for example, in Pakistan, it does not work, then you'll go and start firing rifles in Pakistan. That's the idea. I mean, that's my understanding. But probably there's a different logic that the book that you have read it has, in terms of why putting, dand first and bhed afterwards. So maybe if you can read, from where you got this sequence and look at the justification of that sequence, because all that I have read in Chanakya and everything is samadana bheda danda. And therefore my arguments are tilted towards that, because I have not come across the other sequence. So if you can sort of look back to where you read it from, and
I'll share that.
Reasoning.
I'll share that. I'll
try to see if I find anything.
Yeah, what does that come again? Yeah. Atul, go ahead, and then I'll come to Rakesh. Atul?
Yeah. I was just saying that, I'll try to see. Maybe it was in Tulsi Ramcharitmanas, and maybe, in the Doha or Chaupai, maybe in the meter, it came like that, just to
Mhm.
make it I don't know. I'll try to look up, and I don't remember the
Yeah,
logic
if you
behind
can.
it. So,
So-
yeah.
नहीं सही में आई
So
थिंक
what I'll do is I will post this. Rakesh, go ahead.
नहीं हमें भी जो याद है वो साम दाम दंड भेद ही याद है. Probably it is more rhythmic, or Atul may be right. वो तुलसीदास जी ने गीता में कहा होगा. We can explore it.
Correct.
I think makes sense.
Because you see, if it is, see, what I'm seeing is this, I read from Sanskrit sources, and I guess you guys read from some Hindi sources. So in Hindi, probably when it is rendered poetically, and most probably it is, Ramcharitmanas, because that's the most popular. I also check up my Ramcharitmanas dictionary. मेरे पास
नहीं अभी नहीं.
in terms of the entire thing. Okay, I think we need to ask the question to Raj Kamal. Raj Kamal जी, आप पहली बार ही आए हैं. अभी rather बहुत दिनों के बाद आए हैं, तो बताइए.
नहीं, पहली बार नहीं, बहुत दिनों के बाद is correct.
Yes. I corrected myself.
You're right.
So you have any thoughts to share? Any questions or any thoughts or anything?
No, I'm a novice, so I'm picking up rather. So as such, no questions with the experts right now.
बट वीडियो अच्छा लग रहा था राज. डोंट स्विच ऑफ योर वीडियो.
जयंती सेलिब्रेट हो गई. गुड.
No doubt मजा तो आता है सबके साथ बैठने में.
Absolutely. तो हमारी ये बैठक होती है सर.
No, thank you. I'll certainly try to join every time, but I'm a novice still.
कोई बात नहीं
अरे
है.
नॉवेल्स तो वही पहले क्लास के लिए होते हैं, उसके बाद आप भी जो एक्सपर्ट बन जाएंगे. कोई बात नहीं. प्लीज जरूर आइए. Okay. Any other thoughts that we have
नहीं
from
जी,
the
आपने
17th
जो
chapter as
बुक
such?
डाउनलोड करी है स्मार्ट टू वाइब,
हाँ.
उसको ग्रुप में पोस्ट कर दीजिएगा.
अच्छा मैं देख लूंगा, शायद
हाँ,
पोस्ट करी थी, नहीं करी होगी तो मैं कर दूंगा. और
हाँ, बिकॉज इट इज नॉट अवेलेबल हार्ड कॉपी.
अच्छा तो ओके. तो मैं ये नोट कर लेता हूँ पॉइंट आपका, ये कर लूंगा. और मैं एक बात और सबको ग्रुप को फिर से इन्फॉर्म कराना चाहता हूँ कि अभी जितने भी पुराने सेशन हैं आपके चैनल पर पहुंच गए हैं प्रैक्टिकल गीता ज्ञान पर, और उसको आप सब पुराने सेशंस जिन्होंने मिस किए हैं वो देख सकते हैं. तो यू कैन फील एट होम. जो लोग अभी बाद में भी ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं उनको सारे सेशंस पुराने भी दिख जाएंगे. हालांकि लाइव सेशन में जो चिट चैट आप लोग एंजॉय करते हैं वो चिट चैट वहां नहीं एंजॉय कर सकेंगे. तो जो फ्रेंडली चैट है उसका मजा वहां नहीं आता है. बट ये इसलिए ये भी ज्वाइन करें तो अच्छा रहेगा.
Okay.
Yeah, because we
live
say a lot of things here which cannot be put in public.
Yeah, we say a lot of things. तो हम जब ऑनलाइन करते हैं तो इसमें we focus on what has been told by Raj and focus discussions only.
Correct. So that's fine. So fine, guys. So thank you so much for joining today. I will send again the invite for the most important session on Friday, which is 18th chapter, and we look at that chapter, right? So thank you so much.
Right.
Take care.
Thank you. सबको फिर से शुभकामनाएं गीता जयंती की.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. Namaskaram.
नमस्कार.
Jai Hind. Jai Bhagwan.
जय हिंद.
Bye, Sunil ji. Bye.
Bye everybody.
Bye bye.